Good evening, everyone. I wanted to do this video simply because I'm getting a lot of inquiries about what we're doing homeschool-wise this year from either clients that are elsewhere, they've relocated, they're coming here, they're concerned about, how they're going to educate their children with the distance learning piece, etc. So I first have to define the difference for, I hear the term loosely, we're homeschooling this year. Because schools are closed, we're homeschooling, totally different. It's like calling an apple a tomato. They're not the same. So I have to make that really clear. What homeschool is versus what distance learning is. If your child is still enrolled with the county, your child is still a student of the county in which you reside, you are not homeschooling your child. You are in a distance learning situation with the county. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong. The difference between homeschool and distance learning is literally one is its curriculum selected by you, the parent, and the other is schooling at home. You're homeschooling or you're schooling at home. So again, if your child is enrolled with the county in a distance learning situation, you're schooling at home. What does this mean for you as the parent? Nothing different from what you are already doing. So if you're going over your child's homework with them, well, that's what you did anyway, hopefully. You're not homeschooling them. As a parent, it's still our responsibility to make sure that we're educating our children. So as a parent, going over your child's homework is not homeschool. That's a parental duty. The thing that you have to make sure you do is make sure that they're fed, make sure that they show up, make sure that they're participating. That doesn't pull you away from your regular work. So it is possible, and I want everybody to go into this with a positive mindset because we did homeschool and we still do homeschool, like we really homeschool. So I am the teacher and I actually have to stop with my real estate and oftentimes, explain a lesson, take time out, school them at night, whatever I have to do to make sure that my business runs and I'm still educating each of the 4 children that are homeschooled. The benefit to distance learning is the county already has a set curriculum and dates and times that you all are going to have these lessons administered to your children in a joint setting with other students that are on that same grade level. There is a teacher who will sit there and provide the lesson accordingly and teach your children for the duration of the day. They then will get assignments that you all will not assign, they will. So distance learning is a big difference from homeschooling. And so homeschooling parents I get a little bit annoyed when I hear somebody say, I'm homeschooling. No, you ain't. You're not. You have the beautiful, wonderful benefit of an educator who has a lesson plan and a very creative way of teaching your child along with their peers. So that is nothing to minimize. You're not teaching them. The school is. So that's the difference. If you are homeschooling, your review is something that you're going to have and you'll be reporting to whatever entity, whether it's an umbrella that you select and pay for oversight or the county itself. And you'll be required to provide documentation, evidence of regular instruction, daily instruction in the core subjects. And that would be something that you have to select. You select the curriculum. If it's online, you pay for it. If it's a mix, you do your research. It's a lot involved. It is a lot. It is a lot. I find homeschool is equally as demanding as my licensure with regard to the laws of real estate. It is a lot. And it may be because I have a lot of children or maybe not. But with that being said, there's a lot that goes into it. There are no days off for homeschooling parents. Sometimes we take a week off and you learn mildly, but there are no days off. With regular school, the county has put in place those days that you're closed. Even with distance learning, they're going to still have days off. You're going to have days that they're going to have a spring break, summer break. We might not necessarily take one. Depends on where each of our children are and how we choose to educate our children. My children don't really take a break. Our approach changes during the summer. There may be some roam schooling. And with COVID, we haven't been able to really do any of that. They may be top heavy in certain things. The language arts piece of it during the summer, just from maybe pandemic journaling. It totally depends on how you run your school. That's the difference between homeschool and distance learning. So, it grinds my gears to hear, I'm homeschooling. Homeschool, you may choose to do a combination of things, work with a co-op for the extracurricular activities. You may choose to do your core competencies with a co-op if you feel that you're not strong in science or math. Joseph, please. You may do, in this case, distance learning, but for many of us that homeschool, we may just still get together in small groups, because guess what? COVID is not affecting, we don't have these big, gatherings of children, because there's not that many. Well, there's a ton of homeschool, not distance learning, homeschool students. And in that, there may be 4 or 5 of us that get together for a study group, or those children rather. And in that case, they can socially distance and not be, they're not exposed to anything anyway, because where are we going? So with that being said, that speaks to, again, doing homework with your child that is assigned by the school where they are enrolled is not homeschool. So there is a distance learning program that a very close relative of mine is actually starting for the Upper Marlboro area. And they're going to be providing almost aftercare support in a distance learning environment, and not necessarily educating them, but allowing them to learn there, small groups, and possibly study groups, but not an actual co-op. So it's not for homeschoolers, but it's for distance learning. If you are homeschooling, okay, that means you've disenrolled your child from the county where you reside. Difference. If you are homeschooling, call me if you have any questions about whether or not you're going to do a combination, if you're going to be a part of a co-op. Many of the co-ops that I'm seeing are doing the distance learning thing, but the labs are meeting in small groups during the week because they're small groups. I know I'm going to be holding a couple of study groups for my boys where their peers will come and study together, because some things are hands-on and they learn best, I think, from their peers. We found that in some groups last year. And then I'd love to bounce my ideas for the curriculum that we're studying off of you guys and see if that works for you. Traditionally, we've done classical conversations. This year, we're doing something different because of COVID. That they really love their peers in a classical conversation setting, but we are going to go with Switched on Schoolhouse through Alpha and Omega, which is a mixture of online and hard print, just so that I can kind of assess where they are. And that's what's important. That's what homeschool is. Another thing, distance learning, the testing is done by, it's established by the county, and it's done, administered by the teacher. And then the reporting is done to you, the grading. Different with homeschool. Please don't say you homeschooling. Don't discount your teachers, and don't insult the homeschooling parents, because that's a whole nother job. If you need help with either, I'm glad to share my resources, and I definitely want to hear what you all are doing, because every year things change for all of our students as they get older. I've got one getting ready to drive, and I've got one getting ready to go in the non-preschool type, non-preschool setting now. She's going in, even though she's only 5, we're starting her with first grade work. So again, that's another thing with homeschool. You set the tone for how fast or slow based on the strength of your child. All right, guys, so that was my share. Definitely from this vid, I would love for you to, email me. Education and learning. That's right. So if you want to just, aprilhasyourkeys@gmail.com if you want to email, or you want to, just email. I think that's probably.
At april.com.
Okay.
And get your fun stuff and learning stuff, and learn it right today for your kids. Right at april.com.
No, wait, the homeschool is not the business. The business is real estate. aprilhasyourkeys.com. Go ahead.
The keys have april.com.
aprilhasyourkeys.com. But this is totally not, I swear, the plug was not for that. It's not for the houses.
And it's education and learning.
Good job.
For April and learning. Give it up for April.
Top producer in the making.
My mom teaches me. She teaches me good stuff for God. That's what you should learn if you're people, and if you're grown-ups or kids. know about the devils and they want to listen to the devils, come on down to Maryland and get taught by God.
That's
Made
right.
by
Well, God teaches everybody everywhere, not just Maryland. But you are so awesome. So yes, guys, homeschool and oh, by the way, if you're buying a house, Maryland, D.C., Virginia. All right, that's it. Have a
Love
great
you.
evening. Good night,
Love
everybody.
you, Day.